Williams. Looks like we're having a few technical difficulties, but how are you today, Ethan?
My way through this quarantine. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Um, it's very interesting, this quarantine, but you know what? It is what it is. Being safe. Hope everyone else is being safe and healthy. So, look like we might have a invade here. So, let's talk a little bit about the picks that are going on.
Off during pick and ban, so we'll go over that. The first few minutes of the game are usually just a farm fest, trying to get some levels under your belt anyway. But it looks like on the side of
Ooh,
yeah, it looks like on the side of Norrix, they have a hard scaling comp. They're going to try to extend this game out as long as they can and try to use the power of the late game Vigard Nasus to try to take it away.
yeah. I'm at
As
1 minute 2 seconds. Where are you at?
I'm at 159, 2 minutes.
Let's go back to 110 real quick.
All right,
Sorry about that. Yeah, we were having a few technical difficulties. My OBS crashed, so we're back. Sorry about that.
sure thing. And it looks like Norrix, who is our red team this game, is going for the late game comp, and St. Clair is going for more of a bruiser team fight. Uh, we talked a little bit about it during the match select or during the champ select and ban phase, but I don't know if the stream caught that. It might have
Yeah,
bugged out.
yeah. Just trying to get
Uh,
everything settled. Okay.
yeah,
So yep,
uh,
definitely
we
have
think that
the late game scaling comp. My bad. But it's very interesting. Kazik started red solo, and he's going to invade the blue. We might see some action here with the Hecarim also going there.
now, how do you like Kazak's 1v1 Hecarim? How do you like that? How do you like that trade?
I don't like it. In fact, I also don't like the 2v1 that's happening right here. Yeah, Kha'Zix is actually going to be
Yep.
put very far behind by this. That's really good
Yeah.
roam by the Lysandra. I'm not sure if she had
Yeah.
Prio in
It's
lane. Oh,
but I think it's early enough that it really doesn't matter. She's not going to lose farm to the tower. Um,
we've got a first blood here in bot lane. Yeah, this is very interesting. The Lloyd Norrix is definitely losing out on the early game, but like we said, they do have that late game scaling team comp with the infinite scaling as their top and support. So it's
right.
definitely
Yeah.
comebackable at any point in the game as they just scale incredibly
Yeah.
hard.
Was not going to be favored. We just kind of hope they gotta, keep. Hecarim came in early. That's good to see. Like we talked about a little bit in Champ Select again. The stream probably didn't hear it, but I think the Zerath has a good chance of winning the mid lane if he can just stay safe, stay under his tower, farm up, and get strong without letting that Hecarim get behind him. And just now, he was a little bit out of position and had to burn his flash, but he didn't get killed. So again, not an ideal situation, but again, nothing really lost except for that couple minute cooldown on that summoner spell.
Yeah, I think you're still slightly behind me. I'm at 350, and we have a gank going into the bot lane. Jin has no sums, and he is just going to die to a Hecarim gank. Yeah, Jin with no sums and a Vagar support and a Thresh Hecarim, it's going to be very easy for them to just run him down. So definitely seeing them
Yeah,
putting pressure on this bot lane as they're just going to leave the top side of the map for now just to farm up.
Norrix really has to lock down this early game because I think late game they've got the advantage, but this early game deficit that they're starting to come into is going to pose a big problem later.
Yeah, we can almost see a 2K goal difference at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So we've got a bit of a trade into the top lane. Nasus might have to flash out here. He doesn't have flash. He's going to ghost. Going to try to run away.
There.
We've got Kha'Zix
Oh,
coming top.
off. I think Nasus is going down.
Oh no, they're going to live. He's going to just get
Oh
out.
wow. And
So
I guess that's really not the power of New Wither, but Wither in general has always been probably the most frustrating spell top lane for me.
yeah, That was very good by the Nasus. Looks like he has Spellbook. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of Spellbooks lately. I hear it's the best. I hear Conqueror's great, but like Spellbook is always the best. It just allows you to play Nasus in a different play style.
Look with Nimbus Cloak.
Yeah.
Nimbus Cloak giving you the extra movement speed every time you cast a summoner spell, and Spellbook giving you a summoner spell super often just gives you that kiting potential and stickiness that Nasus really is missing in his kit.
Yeah. And, going back to the jungle, Hecarim is definitely going to have a lot more early pressure than the Kha'Zix. Even if Kha'Zix didn't lose out on that early invade, Kha'Zix is a champion that needs levels and items. As we get another kill, possibly. Nope, Jin's just going to walk it out, but definitely seeing the early aggression by the Caitlyn Thresh lane.
Absolutely. And they just have to keep pressuring that early aggression. Their champions are stronger, their team comp's stronger in these early stages of the game, and I think that they're doing the smart thing, keeping the pressure on, trying to make that bot lane miss out on farm, trying to keep them from scaling into the late game, and if they can start their team fights and get their team into a position where they can win the game without the Vigar and Nasus scaling into a better position, I think that's going to be what they're going to try to do.
Definitely seeing the early descending into a dragon. Next objective that's going to be up is, looks like Rift Herald and Dragon are going to come up at the same time, but we definitely see the bot lane. It does have priority. Interesting to see if Thresh with his Moby boots are going to roam mid. That's the next lane to get
Right.
ahead and put behind. Yeah, it's very
About
interesting.
how
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Okay. We did talk about how tanky this St. Clair Saints team is, and with that early Mountain Dragon giving them those additional defensive stats, they're going to be just a little bit harder to kill, and it's gonna make Norrix scaling into late game a little bit harder, especially if they can take this next Infernal Dragon too.
Yeah,
Dragons aren't the most important thing in the game, but they can absolutely snowball a small lead into a big lead.
yeah. You can also see that Nasus isn't doing too bad in the top lane, having pretty much equal farm as soon as this wave crashes. So he's gonna scale really well. Looks like Jin's gonna have to blow double sums again in the bot lane.
Yeah, but that is the Hecarim flashdown as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. I didn't even notice Hecarim took flash.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people take Ghost
Yeah, you're
nowadays,
right.
but I mean, Flash works too. Very
I think
situational.
yeah, I think Ghost has a higher reward, but it is less safe. Uh, and with the Vigar on the team, I think Flash is smart. You can't Ghost out of the Vigar cage.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of team comps again, not only is St. Clair Saints the tankier team, but overall have way more CC and lockdown. Lissandra ult, Lissandra root, Mordekaiser ult, Mordekaiser pull, Hecarim fear, and they just have if they get a hook, a root, a ult on anyone, it's gonna be very hard for any of the carries to get out. So definitely want to see Jin getting a QSS here, 100% for Mordekaiser and Lysandra Alter. They're just gonna flash Alter or get on him, and there's gonna be really nothing he can do.
Yes, Jin is easy pickings for their team, who's just kind of built for picks. And for Norrix to win this game, I think their game plan is going to have to be to extend those sieges and just try not to get picked. And
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of forces Jin to build QSS.
Might see some early action here for the Knights. Kha'Zix coming top, but the counter gank by Hecarim. Ooh. Kha'Zix doing a lot of damage there. That's like I said. Once Kha'Zix gets
Yeah,
like some AD, that is
yeah.
a
Once
dead Mordekaiser.
oh yeah, even though I'm not sure he connected with any of his ultimate shots, just that pressure that he can exert without having to leave the safety of his lane is going to be a big thing to try to not get caught out.
Oh, we've got a tag bug in the river. Lysandra rolling her ult and flash. So yeah, that's just something early that we're gonna see late game. The Kha'Zix, the Xerath, the Jhin, they're gonna be very easy pickings for Lysandra just to like combo. So definitely want to see them getting some MR with the Mordekaiser and Lysandra on their team. Hecarim does do somewhat of AD damage, but they have their team comp. I'm really like after thinking about it, I'm really liking it. But I also do. I prefer scaling team comps over anything. But yeah, they have a lot of damage. Mordekaiser is tanky, does a lot of damage. Hecarim becomes very tanky, good in front line, good engages, becomes very tanky. Lysandra, innately tanky. So it's going to be very hard
Yeah,
for
they're all
the Knights to kill. But I mean, they do have a high damage comp, so I guess it evens out.
yeah they're very safe team that's going to be hard to pick, hard to peel apart. Um, Wait and see how long this game goes, because the longer the game goes, the Vigar just gets to stack up his passive, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how tanky someone is if you get
Yeah.
a
I
40-minute
I don't
Vigar
think
on them.
Mordekaiser can do anything else in this matchup as Nasus just 1v1s him. Yeah, I think definitely this
Yeah,
Nasus is just going to start like bullying this Mordekaiser. I don't think Mordekaiser has a lead anymore after not bullying him early. Looks like Vagar's going to get caught out here. Ult by Hecarim, and that's going to be the dragon for the Saints.
yep, another dragon down.
So what
That
Lord Norrix wants to look for here is a Cloud Soul. Definitely to prolong their game out. Let's see what it is, but yeah, the Cloud Soul is definitely what they want to look for, as it is a Ocean Rift, not something Lloyd Norwich Knights wants to look for. But I mean, it's still
no,
anyone's game. Dragons just help speed it up into whoever's going to win. We can see that Kha'Zix is on the Herald. First turret going over to St. Clair. Yeah. Yeah, this this Mordecai is just not doing any damage to Nasus anymore.
at that point in the game where his Q just does too much damage, his life steals just too much to get through with the Mordekaiser. Unless he gets ahead or something changes, I think this top lane is definitely ruled by Nasus at this point.
Yeah, we can see the Thresh following the Mordekaiser top, so maybe get a kill, get some plating up there.
Bot tower's down. They really have that agency to go around the map and try to apply pressure in other places that Loy Norrix really can't afford to defend without giving up other objectives on the map.
Yeah. Looks like they're just gonna lane swap. Yeah. It's gonna be very hard for this Nasus now, especially with Thresh Caitlyn. He's not gonna be able to engage or really disengage if he gets caught out.
Back, maybe he'll get some tank items to try to not get peeled apart by that Caitlyn.
Yep, looks like we've got maybe a kill in the mid lane. Sandra blowing everything here, all of her damaging abilities, but looks like she's just going to... Everyone's just going to walk away.
Yeah, his barrier, but that's what barrier's for.
Yeah. Zerov just has to... Really? Ideally, Zerov gets 2 items and he just starts chunking people. I honestly just 1 item, but with the Saints such a tanky team, I think once he gets maybe Luden's death cap, or not sure what he's going to go second, but definitely Zerov has a 2 item power spike where he just starts one-shotting people. Looks like we've got Hecarim going in again. Jhin forced to blow flash.
Yeah. At this point, I would probably go for a void staff, just to try to pressure these. We have 2 Merc Treads on their team, and it looks like Lysandra is going to be building. as well. And I think the early Void Staff, along with the chunking potential of Ludens, is going to give Xerath the little bit of extra he needs to get to that Death Cap spike.
Yeah.
I think going for Death Cap this early would be a little bit greedy and would put him too far behind for too long.
Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, you main support, correct? Can you hear me? Looks like we're having more technical difficulties. Ethan, can you hear me?
Hear you? I can hear you just fine.
All right, there we go. So, if I remember correctly, you main support, right?
I have a handful of Mastery 7 sports
Yeah.
uh,
So,
and Vigar.
what are your thoughts on Omnistone Thresh?
Omnistone. I get that it has a lot of potential and a lot of gold efficiency, and in a role like support where you don't get as much gold as other roles, gold efficiency is very important. Thresh is one of those champions with his kit that he really doesn't need a whole lot of items to be useful. So that additional gold efficiency that you get out of the Omnistone isn't as impactful, in my opinion at least, as like the extra tankiness you get from Aftershock, for example.
Yeah. I think one of the most abusive supports for Aftershock, excuse me, for Omnistone is Bard. Because Bard is
Oh
like
yeah, absolutely.
he's like everything. He is everything in one champion. He is a healer support. He is a CC support. He can be an assassin. He can be pretty much anything, and
Yeah,
he
anyone
utilizes every aspect of the Keystone.
absolutely. If you've ever been behind against an early Bard, you know that Bard can be an assassin with the Q stun into the auto with the meeps.
Yeah.
I like to be a memer and I like to play
Ooh,
electrocute on my Bard.
big plays by the Thresh. Flash Q. He's just gonna get CC'd, and
And
that
see,
Nasus is not gonna have a fun time.
do that with Thresh. That's just his kit, the good awareness, and the playmaking potential of someone who's experienced on the champion.
Yeah. Look like we Yep, looks like they're just going to give over the third dragon. Might have a potential 22, 21-minute soul, potentially. So, definitely want to look out for that.
Yeah,
Hackram doesn't have
1,000,
smite here, so maybe get the
1,000 gold
steal.
difference.
Nope.
Ash got burned. He got a little bit too close to the Thresh.
So I guess we've somewhat approached the mid game. Um, let's see. Norrix still isn't too far behind. I mean, it is a 7K gold difference, but like I said, they do have a fed Nasus farm wise, and he has a few kill and assist on him. So it's still they still have the potential. It is in a throws are very rampant here, but I don't
That's
know.
true.
I I I I want to see. I always like long, drawn out series. Just
Absolutely.
like
I think everybody. Yeah,
last
go ahead.
summer in Detroit when we had the summer finals here. Five. I love 5 game series, 3 game series. When it's close, when there's comebacks, that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, I think everybody roots for the comebacks. The those moments of excitement. And I don't really think we have to worry about throws until Baron spawns.
Ooh, Kha'Zix is just gonna get blown up. NASA's not able to do
Yeah,
anything with that CC.
it does just look like the crowd control coming out of St. Clair is too hard for them to deal with at this stage. Until
Ooh,
they get the yeah, until they get the damage on their Vigar, I think that the Heck Room picks off the Jin. Yeah,
yeah. So, whew, they're really pushing their lead even further, approaching. I think it's still
yeah.
around 8K,
I don't
but
think game over, but it's definitely getting close. The this lead is very large, especially with the team comps. The Vigar is very, very far behind, not very stacked on his passive.
Yeah. So let's talk about what could have happened earlier. So I think Lloyd Norrix definitely could have played a little bit safer, get better vision in the bot side river, because that's what overall snowballed the game. The Caitlyn is
I think so
6
too.
and 0, and they could have top lane, the top side of the map is fine. Xerath has, he doesn't have any kill participation or deaths, but he's Xerath. He has very good farm, and he scales, and the Jhin also scales very well. And once the Hecarim ganked once, twice, it really should have gotten vision, played a little safer, gave away a farm or what have you to keep up the first tower. But now, Thresh getting hooked out, Thresh is just going to go for the kill, doing tons of damage to this
Yep,
Caitlyn, but he's just going to get kited. That's I don't
really
think
good at
that's the
with
I don't think that's the play to go for. Oh, looks like we
no.
might have another pick here. Lissandra ulting herself. Xerath caught out, and he's gonna fall. Now looking for the Vigar. Hecarim misses ult, but it doesn't matter. Lissandra doing tons of damage. So
Yeah, it's just that champion. When that champion's executed well, it's really, really hard to punish her for it.
yes. So for Lord Norrix to come back, I'd say definitely need to get the next dragon. I think if they don't get the next dragon, there's the chance of winning becomes almost nothing. Ocean Soul with Mordekaiser, Hecarim, and Lissandra is going to be very hard to kill, especially this early in the game with no Executioners, Cullings, or Morellos coming out. So they're definitely going to need to. I think they have to fight at this next dragon, whether they win or lose, because it's just going to decide the rest of the game.
We're seeing a little bit of a top lane with that trait that just happened with the Jin
Ooh.
and the Mordekaiser. Jin just really doesn't have the sustained damage that he needs to whittle down the tanks on this team.
Got a few picks coming out. Lissandra going all in, a double kill. She's going to be saved by her alt. Her passive are proccing. She is 1v5. Looks like it worked out. She is still alive somehow. And is.
Yeah,
Wow. That I did not expect
yeah,
Lissandra to do that much damage. But she goes in, gets a double, has her ult and Zonya's. So, excuse me,
yeah.
stopwatch. Looks like they're gonna go for a
Arena
kill
ban.
here. Ooh, look
They
at
did
that
get the Katarina
Caitlyn
ban, but this
damage.
is
Yeah, yeah. I think jumping
to go
on.
on.
Oops. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just that that exchange that happened with the Lissandra. That's definitely something that goes on your highlight reel.
Yeah. Caitlyn. They keep trying to jump on the Caitlyn, and Caitlyn's like, bring it. I've got tons of damage.
Tons of the 8-0 Caitlyn. The Kazakh's a little bit too far behind, I think, to get these picks right now. He's going to have to look for someone who's low and someone who can't just beat him, you know?
Yeah. So with the Ocean Soul and with their lead, I think they just force a dragon fight and they can close out the game for St. Clair Saints. I think that's the way to go. I don't. I think
Yep.
they should bait the Baron, not necessarily do it unless they have complete and total vision of everyone. But they may. I think they actually just have the damage to burn it, and there's no vision on it. I don't even think Lord Norrix Knights are going to contest, and it's just going to melt away.
Yeah. I think St. Clair has the team comp and the damage to kill Baron and win a team fight right now.
Yeah.
And I think they executed this really well. Like this game with their lead right now at 25 minutes, they're so far ahead, and it's early enough that they really Vigar coming online yet because support Vigar scales up so much slower than mid Vigar does. He would have been scary if this game lasted 35, 40 minutes. And the Nasus, while being a threat, is nowhere near as dangerous as he would be 10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So I think St. Clair really executed their early leads well, really picked a team comp that could capitalize on the early pressure that they had. And I do think that the bot lane was decided by the jungle pressure that the Hecarim showed.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had to crown an MVP for this game, I think the Thresh is a monster. Like,
These
have you seen some of the
these Thresh
plays?
plays,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The flash hooks. I this Thresh MVP.
Yeah. Where
So
he lanterned in the Hecarim and flash hooked
yeah.
for the kill, and the incredible playmaking potential that that champion has with someone who's comfortable in him,
Yeah.
is unreal.
Looks like we may have our last team fight here. Caitlyn, getting the pick on Vigar. They're just gonna siege this tower, and with the inhib open mid, they're just gonna have to give this tower, give the inhib, and most likely give the game. But just a reminder, it is one game, and Lissandra
It is
going
best of
in.
three.
Yeah, I think they're just a little bit too behind to really come back, have come back in this game, and need to play their comp. That's something when I cast I see a lot of teams not do. When they do lose, they don't play to their comp. You realize you don't have that much CC, you don't have that much picking potential. I think maybe split. I think split pushing honestly was their best bet, and yeah, I think split pushing was their way of winning. So, game
Split
one.
pushing with the Nasus was the strategy, and it just didn't pan out for him.
Yep.
But yeah, going into these next games, we can try to see them adjust their strategy. Maybe um, get a better team comp. Maybe look at those champ select and see if they can't ban out some dangerous picks and just play a cleaner game.
Yep. As we can see, final score 21-4. Um, bit of a stomp, but I think better champ select. Like what is his name? LS. I've been watching a little bit of him. It's Draft Kingdom right now, so better draft wins. To be honest, so want to pick up a little bit more CC, maybe a little bit of a earlier jungler to get your team into the later phases of the game. But let's go over to the damage charts, and then we'll go over to the next game.
Do you think that they kind of doubled down on that scaling late game strategy without investing anything in their early game?
Yeah.
They really don't have any early game champions, and they got punished for it.
Yep. So looks look at that Caitlyn damage. Lissandra, I and one of my other casting things I do. I like to joke that mid laners do no damage, but not Syndra. Lissandra did a lot this game. Yeah, that's
Again,
one of the memes in one of the other things I cast for is Syndra does no damage, and they have a chat command in that stream where they type exclamation point Sage, and it says Syndra does no damage. So, Alessandra did a lot of
yeah,
work that game. Once she got like 1-2 items, she just went in and did so much damage to a squishy team comp with no real frontline besides the Nasus. And Nasus doesn't have any CC, and he's wasn't that tanky quite yet.
Lissandra is one of those champions that I could never play. Every time I try, I go 0-5 and do no damage. It's Lysandra and Aurelion Soul. I don't know what it is. I just don't understand them. I don't know how they work, and so I always respect when a player does really well with them because it makes sense to me.
Yep.
So kudos to you, Lysandra.
Yep. We're gonna take a quick break here. I'm gonna mute ourselves for a few minutes while our teams get in, re-strategize for their game 2. So we'll be right back, and yeah. So we'll see you guys in a minute. Welcome back, everyone, for game two. Before we get started with our champion select, I want to thank our sponsors of the stream, Lawrence Tech, Army Michigan, and Hungry Howie's. Looks like we have another Cassidy band going out here. So, what do you think Lloyd Norrix should do differently this game?
Well, play to their strengths. Like that last game, they had the late game comp, and we saw that they did make it to late game. Uh, they have a good idea of uh, what they need to do with the champs that they pick. I just think they need to execute it a little better, be a little bit more careful, and make sure that they don't get shut down in whatever strategy that they choose to adopt in this game.
Yep, looks like we have the same bands going out for the first three. Give us 1 second. All right, we're back. So looks like they're still going to first pick the Mordekaiser for St. Clair. Not changing anything up. We might see a run back. We've got Nahlas already locked in for the first two picks for Lloyd Norrix. So definitely have a lot more CC and pick potential with this team comp compared to last time. And we have Nunu picked in for the second pick for St. Clair. So um, interesting for them not to go for the I forgot their jungler they went for last game as it worked out pretty well. Hecarim.
Yeah, even though they're not playing Hecarim, Nunu is almost like AP Hecarim, right? Being the tanky gank heavy jungler that can just run it from either in lane or from the river with a ton of CC as soon as he comes in.
We have Yasuo locked in for the last pick for St. Clair in the first pick phase. That's very interesting. I think Nunu and Yasuo is a pretty good combo. Ideally, I would have liked to see the Gragas Yasuo, but I think we're definitely going to see some
Yeah.
priority on this mid lane and bot lane again. I think top lane is going to be somewhat of a farm fest again, but
Yep.
I think definitely going to see more priority in mid and bot, and I'd like to see Lord Norrix do the same, get their bot lane ahead or even, and scale up because they do have that Trundle Ari, and they both scale very well into the late game.
Trundle pick here because we saw in the last game how much St. Clair loves to run those tanks and those, beefier champions. And Trundle just eats tanks for breakfast. That's what he's built for. That's what he does. That's what he's good at. And, we can see the Lloyd Norwich team here being adaptable and being able to take what they learned from last game and try to apply it to their pick and ban phase. We'll just see if they can apply it to their execution of the game. And I think the way this is looking right now, it might better for them.
I see Andrew's over here in the chat. You could always be here casting with
Oh
us,
yeah,
Andrew.
Maple nerd.
Maple nerd. Alright, looks like we have a lot of priority banning on the bot side of the map this time. We have, let's see, 5 bans total for the bot lane. Uh, Banning out that Thresh, which I say would have been the MVP for last game. Definitely a lot of great
Yeah,
hooks, flash, lanterns. Overall, I think that Thresh was very clean. So definitely a very understandable ban for game two.
I think just taking that playmaking potential away from the hands of St. Clair's support, because we saw how devastating it could be in his hands last game. Just those flash hooks and those lantern plays were just so hard to deal with. Taking that off the table in general is something that I think again is going to be very beneficial for Lloyd Norrix. And we do see that is
Wow. They have.
total
Go ahead.
is totally different in terms of everyone is a different champion except for their top lane. But I think their strategy is very much the same. They have those tanky champions with the Mordekaiser, the Nunu, and the Blitzcrank. They've got a lot of pick potential with
Oh boy.
Mordekaiser, Nunu, Yas.
Look at these
Uh,
teams. Looks like we have a
yeah,
Rise Nautilus bot lane. That's real spicy right there. I'm really
that
liking
is very
both.
spicy.
I'm really liking both team comps here. Uh, looks like not sure it's Ari mid question mark, but uh,
I think it's probably already
let's talk about St. Clair first. I think their pick potential is insane. Blitzcrank with
absolutely.
Yasuo and Nunu. They also have that scaling AD carry and scaling mid laner. I think that's very scary. I think they have a little bit of low AP damage depending on what Mordekaiser builds, but I don't think that really matters as they have a lot of synergy on their team. And the side of Lloyd Norrix, the Rise Nautilus bot, I'm I'm loving it. I think
Really.
I played AD carry for about 4 to 6 months last year, towards the end of the season. Um, and a lot of people complained. I even complained about AD carries, like what was it, the Garen bots and all the other maids
Yep.
going by. I think it's interesting. I
That Garen
personally,
Yumi that
I,
ran around bot lane last year was absolutely disgusting.
yeah, and then there was Sona Tarek and all those other picks. So
Yep.
it's very interesting. But I'm not sure about Rise Nautilus. I think you can definitely get locked down a lot, but it's going to be very hard with Silver Spell Shield. I think it's going to be a passive lane maybe. They have both aggressive hooking
Well, see,
champions as support. So what do you think?
I think it'll on this Rise because Rise is a champion that if you combo his moves correctly, he can put out a ton of damage, throw down a ton of CC, and he's very mobile. Like he has a lot of movement speed and he can just run around. So if he can use that to his advantage to dodge out of the way of blitz hooks and Siver's boomerang blade, I think he can dodge a lot of the damage potential that their bot lane can throw down. Um, and peel apart the Sivir Blitzcrank, provided that he can dodge those key abilities. Um, but again, if he can't, I think he's just going to get rolled.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on how well this Rise can utilize the champion to kind of by Blitzcrank Sivir
Yeah.
and Nunu too.
I think definitely they both teams very hard scaling champions. I feel like people like knock Trundle, but like Trundle scales very hard. I think full tank Trundle is the way to go. I think building damage on Trundle, uh, just you still scale very well, but I'm not sure. It's like you're there to soak up just insane amounts of damage. And I've been playing
Yeah, I
Trundle jungle full tank, and it's disgusting.
I think Trundle in this game, he's just going to be there to try to soak those Yasuo crits, so Ari and Rise don't have to. I think he's going to be there to ult the Mordekaiser and get some of that magic resist off of that tank, so the Ari and Rise and Nautilus can take him down.
Yeah,
Uh, and Trundle Q stealing the AD from the Yasuo and the Sivir. I think it's a very good pick. I think
yeah,
Trundle is a very good pick into this team. Because they really don't need the CC in the lockdown. They have tons of CC with Ari, Rise, Nautilus, and Set. Uh,
yeah.
can really shine in this matchup.
I just want to say it is a Randuin's game for Lloyd Norrix, so the once I think a third item rando wins should be very good with Yasuo Sivir as they both do
Mm-hmm.
go. Usually Sivir goes 100% crit, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go ahead and pull
Yeah.
up the masteries here. Looks like everyone on this side of St. Clair has at least Mastery 5 or better, and the side of Norrix, still almost everyone Mastery 5 plus. We've got no Mastery on the Trundle and the Nautilus, but I think those champions don't really require you to have a high Mastery or high number of games on them to be very skilled with them. So you're going
And
to
it
take,
says locked. It doesn't say zero, right?
yeah,
So it doesn't it lock the mastery and make it not visible if your honor level is too low.
that might be the case. But I am going to pause it once we get in here to make sure me and Ethan are synced up to stream. So it should just take a few seconds once everyone loads into the game.
Sure, sure.
It's taking a second to load up. There we go. And we're loading in. I'm going to go ahead and pause, and we'll be right back.
That's fine.
All right, we're back. Game 2. Um, let's see what happens. Looks like we've already got pings
Yeah,
onto
and it
top try, so gonna have a invade early.
looked like Shadow Phoenix 00 in the chat is smarter than me, and he knows that your mastery doesn't show if you're below mastery level 4.
Yep, yep, that I remember that. Might have some action bot
Yeah.
here. Ooh, potentially. They see
Yeah.
them. They're gonna keep going.
Yeah, whenever you have a Blitzcrank on your opposing team, you have to watch for that invade. Just the level 1 Blitz hook is something that you can't come back from.
Yep. Looks like Trundle went for the Conqueror. We've got Lethal Tempo, Ignite Ghost set top. That
Oh yeah,
oh boy,
you have to be greedy.
he
Being
is
one game down in the series, you have to be greedy.
he's looking to run people down. Wow,
Absolutely.
Lethal
And
Tempo.
I think they're
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
comp has enough CC and enough rundown, and the opposing team is all melee except for Sivir.
Yeah,
So I think Set with that combination, that loadout is going to be very potent, being able to just stick to whoever he needs to stick to, except for maybe Sivir, and just punch him in the face like Sets want to do.
what I'd like to see from Trundle is a Red Smite Cinderhulk into Stone Plate. I think it's very strong, especially how much they were fighting early game and our last game. It's really
Yep.
disgusting combo for junglers that can utilize it well.
Right.
So where do you expect the first blood to happen? Any predictions?
Yeah, I think it happened in the bot lane. I think Blitzcrank's going to get a hook onto the Rise, and the Rise Nautilus isn't going to be able to peel from the Sivir. I know Sivir doesn't have a crazy amount of damage early game, but I think it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like we did. Maybe got a hook down there. He's already half HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blitzcrank is
The
if
People's Caster, Shadow Phoenix 00, the People's Caster in the chat, being helpful, checking sets op.gg. I guess this is what he usually runs. It wasn't a counter pick for the team comp. It's just what he's comfortable with, which I guess is a good decision to make when you're in a situation like this. Play what you're comfortable with, and it just happens to work out.
yeah. First gank. Maybe have to blow a flash. He is. Yasuo getting out, but that is a flash off of Yasuo, and if Trundle reganks that, and there's no enemy minion wave, Yasa's going to have a very hard time getting out. And
Yeah.
It looks like Nunu's going to have to give away Scuttle Crab on the top side of the map.
Yep. This is Lloyd Norrix learning from last game, learning because they kind of got shut down early game. So that early gank and the early pressure that they're showing into the mid lane right now just shows that they're an adaptable team that is comfortable looking at things that they maybe didn't do so great and understanding that, hey, I can make an improvement. I can improve my team's chances of winning by knowing what the other team likes to do and try to punish them for it.
Let's do a little bit of fixing here. Oh, missing the hook. Let's see if I can scale down the UI. Oh, that didn't help. Alright. I tried.
It's fine.
But, look like we're going to have a gank bot. Lloyd
I
Norris
hope
is just
so.
going to back off and play it safe, which is very good for them. Yeah,
That's good. Yeah, I'm.
They're playing
Yeah,
a
go
lot
ahead.
safer this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. Top right now is just being an absolute bully.
Yeah.
And how do you like the Ari into Yasuo? I know a lot of people think that Ari is not favored into Yasuo just because of the wind wall. Um, but
I say that is
Yasuo's
true. I
moves.
do think it's a Yasuo favorite matchup. However, a skilled Ari can play around it. So I think it's overall it's a skill matchup, just slightly favored into Yasuo. Depending
He's
on like,
smart. If
yeah,
if she just holds on to if she just holds on to the charm until after the wind wall goes up or after Yasuo engages, and just goes for those pokes, wind wall's on a longer cooldown than Ari's Q is.
yep.
Those pokes in.
Oh, a little bit of
Oh,
action in the top
that
lane.
if I guess I don't play top lane very often, and I've never seen that Mordekaiser pulling the set so the frontal cone, went behind him and he dodged it. That's a little bit of fun interaction that I've never seen before, and damage. I know how scary that big cone set throws out can be.
Yeah. Approaching the 6 minute mark. Nothing's really happening. It's very slow early game.
No, I think respecting their opponents, I think that there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of tension, and a lot of people are for someone to make a mistake. With the hooks bottom lane, with the blitz and a little bit of a skirmish in the jungle.
Yeah.
Nunu taking Trundle's Raptors, unforgivable sin.
Yeah. Ari has no mana, so I don't think anything was able to happen there. Blitz mixing the hook. Rise doing Rise things. We can
Yeah,
see there's a hefty CS difference in the bot lane. So Rise is gonna need to get the farm he needs to scale up into the comboing monster. Hook goes on to Rise. Rise forced to flash out. Nothing else is gonna happen from it, but
yep.
that is
Oh, he
Rise
also burned
flash.
heal though.
Yeah,
It's Rise Flash and heal,
yeah.
so he has no sums. Uh, Holding with it. I think Rise getting hooked by the Blitzcrank is going to be our first blood. It's happened a couple times. He hasn't died yet, which is good for him. He's recovering well when he does get hooked. His support Nautilus is peeling really well for him. Um, he's gotta play better at those side steps and use his movement speed and his kit to his advantage. I know that's kind of hard early game without stacking up his tier yet and not having really the mana pool to spam his moves as effectively as Rise wants to.
hmm So, what do you think? If this game were to go 30, 40 minutes, that is going to be a dead Trundle probably, getting hooked and his buff
Oh,
stolen. Good pillar, and he's out. Wow.
yeah, yeah,
They,
insanity.
yeah, they are bully. This Blitzcrank is bullying the enemy team. Looks like they're going to get a
Yep.
free dragon hook. They're getting everyone's flash. It's not going to matter. Nautilus, first blood for Yasuo, and a free dragon. And I
Yeah,
think
I
this
said
is,
Nautilus died, right?
yeah, he got hooked.
I said First Blood was going to be Nautilus. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that Blitzcrank got the Trundle flash, got the Nautilus flash, first blood for the Yasuo and dragon. Uh, Big lead going into a 2K gold lead for the side of St. Clair.
Yeah, and this is 2 games in a row where we see the power of this St. Clair support.
Yeah.
He absolutely dominated with the Thresh last game, and this game he's looking to do the same thing with his Blitzcrank.
Yep. So I think that maybe putting a little bit of pressure into this bot lane or mid lane. I think the Trundle needs to start going for objectives. As I see, he's building uh, Blood Razor. So gonna
That's interesting to me. I would think he would go for a more tank centric build in
I,
this type of
I Blitzcrank getting caught out
situation.
here. Silver taking a lot of damage. Hook onto the Rise. Blitzcrank is hooking everyone.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, but the Trundle's coming in,
We've got a fight in the top lane. Oh my god, there is blood everywhere. Sivir gonna pick up
and the
a
Trundle,
triple kill in the bot lane. Whew.
man,
Yeah, that there was fights everywhere.
yeah.
that
With that triple kill is going to be so much harder to deal with now.
that Blitzcrank hook onto the Rise. That's got to be a tilter right
Yeah,
there. After they
yeah.
extended his range of his Q, I don't know how many patches ago it
Oh,
was,
he did
but
not need the extended range on his
I
Q.
think Riot's explanation was Blitzcrank should be the one and only true hook champion. I'm just like, God, please,
Oh yeah,
no.
had an opportunity to talk to some people from Riot a little bit ago in a workshop that they had in Ann Arbor, uh, and one of the guys was talking how if the game was up to him, if he was on the balance team and all decisions went through him, Jin would be the best champion in the game. So maybe someone on the balance team just loves Blitzcrank, and the boss finally gave the go ahead to give Blitzcrank some love.
Yeah, I mean I guess it's all right. He's not. He's good, definitely good support. I think he's better in lower elo compared to high. As we see Yasuo just going
Yeah.
in, doesn't care if the jungler's there. Maybe possible 2v1 going here is gonna kite out the jungler. Oh,
I don't
wow.
think he can win a 2v1.
Yeah, he 2v1s.
Maybe I'm wrong. He absolutely won the 2v1. Okay, all right. Well, yes.
So we're gonna have some blood in the bot lane. Still has hook. That's gonna be a double kill for Sivir. Blitzcrank is a monster. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's nerf Yasuo. People have been crying for Yasuo to get nerfed since he became a champion, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah. Ooh, the flash. Very good flash from Mordekaiser. And that is gonna be
Yeah.
a kill for St. Clair's
There
top
you go.
laner. That was a very good bait for the set W.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
as we see, Loy Norrix is again falling behind in the early game. I think that to salvage this game, oh my god, another hook. It's not going to matter though. Maybe double knock up with the Nautilus ult
Yeah.
running out. Up, that's going to be another double or kill for each. And yeah, I don't think that was worth, but Trundle here not going to go
No,
for
I think
anything.
just has too much damage for us to want to take those fights. Um, and the support on the side of St. Clair with him playing Thresh and then Blitzcrank, he's obviously comfortable with these hook champions. He knows that that line of sight that he just had, just walking around that lip in the bottom lane, just to get that fog of war, so they can't see him anymore. They don't know he's throwing the hook. If you don't know he's throwing the hook, it's a lot harder to dodge.
Yeah. So what I'd like to see is it's very hard with Set not having TP for to TP bot for objectives, but it looks like we're gonna have first tower in the bot lane yet again. Yasuo going in, killing the Ahri. This is gonna be first turret mid. The Nunu does have Herald fight in the top lane. Set's gonna try to run him down. Nothing's gonna happen there. Yeah. And this is just going to transfer over to another free dragon for the side of St. Clair.
Yep.
But yeah, like
Another story. Yeah, go ahead.
like I was saying, Lloyd Norrix needs to. I feel like they need to be more aggressive, but I feel like it's kind of too late for that to happen at this point. Um, the Blitzcrank with the picks in the jungle and the picks on bot lane, I think that's going to be very hard for them to be aggressive with a Sivir and Yas having those kills and that much gold and items on them. Another hook by the Blitzcrank helping him to get out, but Rise is just going to flash out of there. This support on the side of St. Clair's really knows how to play their hooking champion. So,
And it looks like it's just the same story, different chapter from last game. The support getting those hooks, making those plays, getting their carries fed, and snowballing that lead into all of the other lanes for the win.
yep, it looks like Blitzcrank's going to extend the lead top lane. I'd be careful with Set having everything up, and the Mordekaiser, a third HP, can be quite scary. Yeah. Going back to this Trundle build, I'm not sure what he's building now. Maybe a Blade of the Rune King Rush. I'm not sure about that. Blitzcrank missing the hook. Set running them down. Possibly going to do a 2v1. Yes, he is. Going in, getting kited out. Looks like... Oh my god. Excuse me. He's going to miss everything. We've got another fight in the jungle. Looks like its kill was secured top by the Blitzcrank. It looks like St. Clair is just going to win out on these team fights. And they're just going to turn that into another tower top lane. And we have Ahri in the bot lane on the side of Lloyd Norrix. Getting some gold there. No platings up. No objectives on the top side of the map. So it looks like they're just going to trade towers and kills. Kills for the side of St. Clair. So it looks like she's just going to back off. So yeah. A 11K gold lead at 16 minutes. It's looking very grim for Lloyd Norrix. Yasuo looking for the tornado. Looks like there's another dead Rise getting caught out in the jungle. So, yeah, that's just going to be another turret mid.
Carries on the side of St. Clair are just absolutely tearing apart Lloyd Norrix's team, just being too much damage. They have too much CC in the form of their Blitzcrank and Nunu, and their Yasuo just getting ults off and landing those tornadoes, and it really is an uphill battle for Lloyd Norrix at this point.
They did get the 1,000 gold shutdown, but it did go to the Trundle. 3-man Yasuo ultimate might be a triple kill for him. He's dashing through the minions, kiting it out, and he dies to the Set. Looks like it's going to be a 2v3 siding for the side of Lloyd Norrix. This is the kind of thing they want to look for, getting kills, getting gold. So
yeah, if they can get this Set with more gold under his belt, maybe some more items so he can survive longer in those fights, get those big scary W's going on to a couple people on the team, they can really start to come back. I don't think they're out of this game yet, but it definitely, again, is an uphill battle.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It looks like it's a mount. I can't tell what soul it is. Let's take a look. Looks like it is a ocean soul. Yet again, Not something that Norrix wants to see again. Another fight in the bot lane. Set going in. That
So I think Ocean Soul is like the best of the Dragon Souls.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It is the best. That's a good pickoff on the Mordekaiser. Maybe they can turn that into something else potentially. Nuna is topside. I'm not sure when the dragon spawns. Looks like we've got 2 minutes on it, possibly. Or no, that's the red buff. But less than a minute on the dragon. I think Norrix goes for this. I think that's definitely something they should try to do. They're definitely going to need to focus down the 7-in-1 Yasuo and the 7-in-1 Misfortune. Can be hard with the Misfortune spell shield. Excuse me.
Misfortune got into this game,
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry,
I think so
Sivir.
too.
It's been a very long day and I'm tired. I'm sorry. The Sivir spell shield.
Yeah.
Set
New
potentially
confirmed.
getting caught out
Misfortune is
here.
getting reworked.
Yeah. Uh,
Misfortune is getting reworked and
yeah,
getting a spell shield.
yeah, she's gonna get a spell shield. She's gonna get an alt that gives her faster movement speed. Uh, they're transferring her Q to bounce to targets like Jin Q, and it apply on hit effects. I'm just saying. It's gonna be quite busted with Riot's 200 years of game design experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they're just babysitting this Herald, letting it do what it does against these towers, and
Yeah, see, this dragon was completely
there's just
free. I think Lloyd Norrix could have potentially snuck it. Trundle with his build could have definitely snuck it. There is no vision on it, but St. Clair's just going to rotate to it. Someone did point out that Dragonstone equal wins another hook for the Blitzcrank, picking up another kill on the Yasuo. But dragons don't always equal wins, but a Ocean Soul on the side of St. Clair would just make it that much harder for Loy Norwich to win. And with there being such a gold
right.
deficit, they don't have the items, the grievous wounds, and all the gold they need to combat that.
We see this Blitzcrank making these hooks, making these picks, getting these kills, and we really just haven't seen the Nautilus do the same. He's got a hook too, and he's got that great engage ultimate, but their team just isn't really in the position to take those kinds of engages, and Nautilus is just kind of playing peel bot right now for their carries, and
Yep.
that kind of playing from behind is
Yeah.
a recipe for disaster on the side of Lenorix right now.
I'd just like to point out the Trundle still doesn't have any resistances yet. Going for the Blade of the Rune King, I think, was a little bit greedy. If you were to go for Blade, I think maybe a third or fourth item, but he has no tank stats that he needs in order to survive the Yasuo Sivir, especially since they are the two ADs in the most fed. He's going to definitely need Tabby or Merc Treads. I think Merc Treads into a Randuin's would be a great choice.
I think Blade of the Rune King is best as a first item. Building it later in the game just doesn't have the same kind of impact. But in this situation, being this far behind, if I were the Trundle, I probably would have cut my losses and tried to build tankier and just kind of maybe kept the recurve bow and built some tank items.
Yeah. So as we approach the 22-minute mark, Blitzcrank hitting another hook. Dead Trundle. That could be a free Baron with the jungler being dead for 30 seconds.
Yeah, they've got all of their lanes pushed up. The jungler's dead, and they absolutely, with the Yasuo and Sivir, have the damage to just burn the Baron.
Another hook landing onto Rise. That's going to be a dead Rise. Man, I haven't seen Blitzcrank miss a hook yet when he's actually hooking for champion. Speaking of, misses a hook.
Yeah. on this Ahri a couple times.
Oh my god. This Blitzcrank is a monster. He's hitting
man.
all the important hooks.
And how absolutely tilted I would definitely be on the side of Norrix, just getting hooked from bushes, getting hooked from across the wall, getting hooked from fog of war into just these, you know, these deaths that are almost unavoidable after you get hooked. It's dodge the hook or die, and this Blitzcrank has been on point all game and all last game with the Thresh.
We're gonna have Set going in here 1v3, team in the back line. Maybe a good fight. Shutdown on the Yasuo. Sivir still killing everyone in the back line. That's gonna be a double
Yeah,
kill for the Sivir. Um, Maybe a good trade with a 1,000 gold shutdown on the Yasuo, but it did go over to the support, so I'm not sure anything's going to come of that, but it is a 1v4 situation, and they could potentially end the game here. Minions pushing mid, minions pushing
right.
top, one person up. This could easily, if they
Well,
tried,
they're
end the game.
down, and with that shutdown on the Nautilus, maybe we see him sell all of his money and go AP Assassin Nautilus and carry the game. What do you think?
I think that's definitely the call here. Full AP Nautilus,
I
like
think so too.
enemy team has no MR. I think it's just going to be great. Definitely not going to lose out on any gold or anything, but we can see Nunu sealing the camps
Yeah,
for the Trundle. And as a jungler, this is what really puts you behind late game when the ADC, the mid laner, the enemy team stealing all your jungle camps. He's forced to take lane farm, which puts his laners behind. So just something that
yeah,
people should do when they do have a lead. Take the enemy jungle camps. It overall puts the entire team behind. We have a
yeah.
Ocean Soul coming up here in less than a minute, and I really don't think. Oh, tornado lands. Yasuo flashing in, misses the Q, getting caught out. Knowledge misses the hook. Does have ult. Ult. That's going to be a dead Yasuo. Boom. And then we have another fight going bot. Trundle 1v3. That's going to be a free Ocean Soul for St. Clair. Yeah.
Yep.
So we've got a 14k gold difference. So I'm not sure they can come back from this. They've got two inhibs open. Ocean Soul. They're going over to the Baron with no one to contest. Nunu with E and Smite's going to be pretty much impossible to steal from.
Okay. Yasuo going into that fight earlier. I thought it was greedy. I thought he got in over his head. I think he bit off more than he could chew. And he did die, but that was much closer than I thought it was going to be. He did a lot more damage and almost killed them. And I think just hitting that one Q, Artie might have made the difference in that fight.
Yeah, and he had him having three people on him, and then getting a pick in the bot lane. Him dying for it, I think, was definitely worth there. Getting the Ocean Soul and Baron for his life, I think is a trade I'd take any day.
Yeah.
We can see Set still building full AD, no HP items yet. It's gonna be very squishy when it comes into these last fights. I think it's gonna probably be one team fight that decides it. We'll see, but we've got Inhib open mid and top, and I think they should just go all bot and get that last turret for the secured win. Looks like Blitzcrank is gonna try to go for another hook and miss.
Interesting to see this deep into the game, and their tanks really aren't building tank.
Yeah, they have no front line, and looks like they're just zoning them off their own Nexus towers and ending the game. Set getting hooked again, one shot, alt onto the Mordekaiser, and yeah,
Yep.
that is going to be a GG. St. Clair 2-0, and they move on in our playoffs. Very very good to
And
see. Go ahead.
yeah, no, it's last game. I think that Norrix had a great strategy. I think they had a good idea of what they wanted to accomplish in this game. I think that they just lagged behind in the execution of it.
Yeah.
I think with a little bit more practice and maybe a little bit better communications and a little bit more experience under your belt working with your teammates and knowing your strengths and weaknesses, they could have executed better and performed better and done less in this game. But I do think that their strategy and their ban phase, their champ select was strong. They knew what they were doing. They just didn't really adapt in the game when things started to go downhill. They couldn't really recover, and that those small leads snowballed into big leads, and we see that carry games, I think, more often than not.
Yeah, and that is a GG for both teams. Um, so St. Clair goes 2-0 in the first match of playoffs. And just for any other teams watching, um, uh, we here at State Champs would love to have your game streamed and casted. So if you would like, please let us know when your matches are happening, and we can work together to see what we can do. And yeah, I think that wraps it up. Let's look at this damage chart here. I think Yasuo's definitely going to be at the top of it. Oh, it's definitely not Yasuo. Sivir
Yeah,
doing.
Sivir. I think Sivir did a lot more damage than Yasuo did. Maybe not a lot, but Sivir definitely pulled ahead. Those bouncing crits, like Yasuo does a lot of damage, but those bouncing crits in team fights ramp up Sivir's damage into crazy levels.
Yep. So we are going to end the stream here. Anything you want to say before we end it here?
Thank our fans and our viewers for watching and
Yeah, we should see many
for
more
having a
games
good game.
in the following week and a half week. Once again, thank you to our sponsors. Very grateful to them. Lawrence Tech, Army Michigan, and Hungry Howie's. And yeah. And one last note: I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe. Hope everyone and their families are doing well. As it is a hard time, especially here in Michigan, as I think most of our teams are. So, from the State Champs family to you guys, I hope you guys have a great day, great week, and we'll see you guys next time.